Alright boys, bienvenido a Miami. In my last video I talked a bit about squats versus deadlifts and made a quick and dirty case for why deads are better. There's one thing I forgot to mention though, and that squats have this sort of allure to them that you don't see anywhere else. Well, except for this clip. I mean, you don't hear Tom Platz talking about deadlifts like they're his wife, or Ivan Jurek doing them for 800 days straight. Our program is being called Super Deadlifts for God's sake. And that's why this video is going to play into that a little bit, because for the next 3 months of footage, I'm going to be going into the depths of squat hell with Smolov's infamous squat program. Something few mortals even attempt to let alone survive. Don't know what it is? Here's a quick and dirty rundown. Essentially, it's 3 months of squatting 3 to 4 times a week, 13 if you count the test, split into 4 phases. I want to thank Alexander Bromley real quick for doing this great video that I'm using a screenshot from right now. Really dives into the nuts and bolts of the program, and it's how I found out about it in the first place. If I see you around, I'll toss you a cold one. For the program though, first up is this sort of intro phase for a couple weeks. Then we got what you've probably seen before, which are these 4 weeks. Then we got a little deload of negatives, cleans, and box squats. Gotta confuse the body.
Right, babe?
And the last 4 I can only unlock once I get there, and that's if I even make it that far. Well, I'm not gonna make it just sitting here, so let's get this shit started. Alright, so the first week is almost meant to get you comfy. We got some 8s, some 3s, some 5s, some 2s, and some 1s. Since this is the light shit, I'm going to go ahead and talk over all this. If you're a 3-plate squatter like me, the first 2 days are going to be the only time you touch anything under 2-plate, which is nice. It'll be for a whole 3 sets of 8 on both days, because you're doing the same exact thing twice in a row. Some programs have you starting at 70% and not even touching 90% for a fat minute, which in this case means it would take forever to even load up 275. Like, come on bro, I can do that shit for 5 reps, why are you taking 3 months for me to lift it for 2? Guess that's what happens when you lift by feel for so long. The 3x8 becomes 4x5 on the last day, and then you get dummied by this 90% single out of nowhere. Almost like it heard me complain and said, okay, you want to stroke your ego? Here you go, bitch. After that, the second week was pretty easy. Only 1 or 2 proper sets, and you build up to what should be your 5-rep max on Friday. And now we've hit the inferno. For the next 3 weeks, it's 4x9, 5x7, 7x5, and 10 sets of 3. Second week you add 20 pounds, and the week after you add 10 more. What's going to happen between now and then? Who knows? But your legs are going to get beat within an inch of their lives. Metallica, take it away for the depths of squat hell.
What I see when I see you back in the front. You will die when I say you must die back in the front. You coward, you servant, you blind man.
Alright, well, that was fun. Our reward for this is a whole ass week off, then 2 weeks of conjugate deloading. On the menu is a squat negative, some power cleans, and some box squats, all done for speed. Since we're doing everything except squatting, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I was doing outside of the gym in order to keep myself up to snuff. One of the first warnings I took was that you need to eat a shit ton in order to survive this program, and by God, that's what I did. Every morning before work, I make what I've dubbed the anabolic breakfast. How's it go? Quarter pound of sausage, a whole ass bell pepper, spinach, cheese, 4 eggs, and this is gonna turn most people off. Chicken liver. Believe me, I had the same reaction you did at one point, until I rediscovered it, something like this.
I would shoot for 900 to 1200 milligrams of choline per day, and a big chunk of that can be hit through your dietary intake. So this is a graph I've compiled of milligrams of choline per 100 milligrams of the effect, all the way up to beef liver.
Holy shit! Step aside, Liver King, because now I put this 19 grams of protein, 110 calories, and 0 carbs in my breakfast every single day. And this is all in 3 motherfucking pieces, which you see here ain't even that much. In fact, the whole tub of blood cost me $2.69. But surely there's a catch though, like half the container's air. They took a page out of Ben & Jerry's book and raised the bottom, but nope. Filled to the brim with gains, and it lasted me a whole ass week. But, like every cheat code, it had to get nerfed. I ended up going on Journey all on its own just to find that one tub for the video. When I first drafted the script, you can walk into any Walmart and there'd be 10 of those bitches just lying on the shelf. Now, you got everywhere from Homestead to Aventura and nothing. If you know the cheese may on this, please, fill me in, because I'm wondering why they're trying to keep us from getting small and succulent. Besides that though, chowing on this, Chipotle, and Picadillo is what got me that 355-pound PR you saw, as well as plenty of Myers from the Chicas and the Abuelitas alike. As for body care, Smolov recommends some lunges and stretching and bench shit, and I said fuck that, play hockey for 3 hours. All of this did come at a cost though, but oh shit, we're in the final phase of the program. Let's see what I just unlocked. Picture this. We just got through the depths of squat hell and are starting to come out the other side. But since hot air rises and cold air sinks, that means the outermost layers of hell are the hottest. Yeah, that's these next 4 weeks. Strap in, motherfucker, because now that our max went up to 355, we're not touching anything less than
300 motherfucking pounds! We got 5, we got 4s, we got 5 by 5 at 90 goddamn percent! Will we survive? Who knows? Who cares? Let's fucking go!
Alright boys, it's been about an hour since that video where I couldn't even get 300 out of the rack. I'm editing the video that you've seen up until now, but yeah, this is kind of an L. I failed the first fucking day of this phase. I gave that 300 for 5 a few more goes. I even ripped the smell install for one of them, but that shit was not budging, and needless to say, neither are my legs. But like Tom Petty, I won't back down. I chugged a protein shake. I'm going to ice and heat the shit out of my legs for the next week. But most importantly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recalibrate, because those 2 weeks of doing jack shit did not help me at all. Probably going to get to the point where I can do 300 for 3 at the drop of a hat, not for 10 fucking sets again, but probably try to get up to 315 for 5 as well, because I'm going to have to do that shit for 4 or 5 sets in a few weeks' time. Now, I'm probably not going to video it, because at the end of the day, this video is about the Smolov program, and not shit you gotta do to prepare for the Smolov program because you're a fucking pussy. Alright, see y'all next week. Let's get after it.
I was born for dying. Life planned out before my birth. Nothing good I say. Had no chance to see myself molded day by day. Looking back, I realize nothing have I done. Left to die with only friends. Alone I cleanse my gun. Soldier boy, made a play. Now an empty shell. 21, only son, but he served us well. Friends who kill, not to care. Do just as we say. Finish him, quitting step. Because to take you away.
Alright boys, I'm sitting in this chair again. Got the spreadsheet staring me in the face and telling me the workout that I could not fucking finish again. Now last time I sat here is because my legs were just flat out not used to the volume after 2 weeks off. This time though, something a little more serious. You probably didn't catch it on your first time watching it, but when I see it in editing, I'll put it right here. In that, when I went to walk that weight in, A, there's no way in hell I was doing 4 reps with that. And B, my knee did a pretty scary jiggle, backwards, sideways, and every fucking way that's not forwards. Now, you've probably already commented on the video that knee cave is a pretty serious issue on mine, and I could get away with it on the high volume stuff. In fact, it actually kind of helped, I think. But, now that we're handling 90 to 95% of our max, it's come back to bite me in the ass hard. Now, this isn't even really a YouTube-worthy injury. There's no red circle around with me dying on the floor, but this is kind of a come-to-Jesus moment. But whether I'm crazy, stupid, or both, I'm going to take it easy this week. Friday, try to hit 5 with 90%, because I'm going to have to be doing that in 2 weeks' time. Hey asshole! I'm you from the future. You just broke your patella in half. Yeah, a week ago you were skating without shin pads like a dumbass and took a spill. That little jiggle you felt? That was your kneecap snapping in half, my man. Alright, quick disclaimer, because I know some of you are going to point out some holes in the story, and that's because I made this clip before I got a proper MRI. My kneecap didn't snap in half, per se. It just kind of naturally formed into 2 pieces. What actually happened was when I took that spill, I fell right down on my knees and damaged the ligament that went between the 2 pieces, which is also the same one on the outside of the leg that's called your synchrondosis. That, plus 320 pounds, no bueno. Alright, enough of the anatomy lesson, back to the video. Well, shit, you had a point. Guess that means we gotta call the video here. So what did I think of all this? Well, it really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I didn't finish the fucking program. I got slaughtered and tossed in the pit with everyone else that's trying to fail it. So my opinion won't be on the full Smolov program, it'll be on maybe 75% of it. But you know what? When did that stop me before? I'll admit that I've been wanting to do this program for a long time, especially after hearing about how hard it is. With the turn of the new year, I sat around and thought about something like, you know, I want my squat to start with a 4. And then right after editing the last video, no, during the editing process, I got into the bar and I did that first 3 sets of 8 at 65%. I finished it up and thought, that wasn't so bad. I'm a bit gassed, but it wasn't disgustingly hard. And I plowed right through that day, tacking on a bit of an upper routine as well. Kept to a pretty simple routine of squats, bench, and weighted chin-ups. Because fuck rows. This lasted until about the end of the 3rd week, when you begin what most people see as the crux of the program. What most people think. Keep that in mind. Let me tell you though, when you finish that 10 sets of 3, you're sweating like a pig, your knees ache, and your legs are sore as fuck. The last thing you want to think about is that you have to do this again in about 16 hours. How do you handle such a daunting task like this? Compartmentalization. This block by itself is known by a lot of people as Smolov Jr., and it does its job well of putting 40 solid ass pounds on your squat in a matter of days. Probably more if I had actually squatted these to death. Have at it, Form Police. And that's one of my survival tips for this part. And then at the end of the day, It's only 12 sessions. They're hard as fuck, but that's not bad. As for the days themselves, I'd say the 4x9 is the easiest. Maybe it's because I'm used to high rep squatting, but knowing that on Sunday, you just gotta come in, knock out 4 sets, and you're done is easy on the mental side. Second easiest day is, surprise, surprise, the 5x7. You're only adding 5% and we're not even at 80 yet. Coming after work, smash 5 sets, go play hockey. That's how these days look for me. Hell, I even forgot to film one of them just because they went so quick. The 10 sets of 3 day takes a pretty sizable jump in terms of difficulty. Staring down 85% of your max plus 30 pounds and knowing that you gotta bury it for 30 reps is like being at the top of a downhill park and seeing how much bigger the jumps are compared to YouTube. But at the end of the day, you only gotta take it 3 reps at a time. Compartmentalization. But then there's this day, the 7 sets of 5. This day is excruciating. 80% is for most people close to their 5 rep max. And by the second and third week, you're guaranteed to be at or above that. And you gotta do this for 7 sets. After work, on a time crunch. 7 is such an awkward number too, because when you finish the first 5 by 5, you realize that you got 2 sets left, which is 40% of what you've done already, but 2 doesn't go evenly into 7, and finally, fucking done. See you in 2 days, you hunk of steel. So there's my quick and dirty review of Smolov Jr. If I were to trace the difficulty up until now, it'd be pretty gentle through the first 2 weeks, starts ramping up through the third, and takes a quick jump through weeks 4 and 5, ending what should be your best all-time squat at the end of week 6. But then as you saw, the difficulty drops to essentially 0 for the next 2 weeks. You freshen up, heal, and get all poised and ready to sprint into the brick wall that is the final 5 weeks. In fact, compared to what we've done until now, the difficulty spike showers the top of the fucking graph. Hell, I needed to add a recalibration week just so I could survive the first day. Granted, I was able to handle the workload until this happened. But if you're one of the brave souls that's trying to avenge me, do not do what I did for a deload. Instead, I propose this.
If I were you, I'd still take a week of light-ass shit. I'd say do some 3s, some 5s, and some 1s, topping out at maybe 80% of your new max. That second week, though, you need to prepare. The goal is you need to be able to do 3 sets of 3 at 85% and a solid 5 at 90%. That is, not passing out as soon as you rack it. Just like our guy Bromley said, the point of these 5 weeks is to tap into the gains you made from Smolov Jr. and grind out an extra 20 or even 30 pounds for your max.
Slight problem though, in that when you first hit that sparkly new PR, your body's not ready to use it for bread and butter work just yet. You ever heard the quote, "A high tide raises all ships"? Well, the tide's gotta come in first, that is your PR, and it's gonna be a while before it makes it to shore. That is your typical go in the gym, rep out 3 sets of 5 at a medium-ish weight, and go home self. And unless you've dedicated your life to the art of squatting, chances are that turnaround's not gonna be a whole 1 proper session, or 2 weeks of cleans and box squats. Let's face it though, you probably saw that 2-week deload and sat on your ass for that whole time. Now here's where the hot takes come out, so get your red circles, gaping YouTubers, and Reddit mega threads out, because we're going balls deep into this final review. I can see it right now. YouTuber Cool Vibrations says Smolov program is pretty damn good actually. Smolov Jr. that is. Having been where no keyboard warrior has gone before, this isn't necessarily one 13-week leviathan of endless squatting and more 2 programs with light shit thrown in between. Well, most people know the 4x9, 5x7, 7x5, and 10x3 is awesome. I mean, hell, I was stuck at 315 for the better part of a year, and this program shot it up 40 pounds in a matter of days. Why would I argue with that? The second part is a whole nother animal. This is where you have to be a barbell specialist in order to survive, having spent your entire athletic career moving barbells in certain ways. And simply put, I'm not that. I mean, yeah, I like lifting, a lot. It's fun as hell to mog your friends and watch their balls shrink as you rail their mom, only for them to throw it right back at you a week later and drive you to grind out that extra 5 pounds. But that's not the whole story. I want to be fast, explosive, be good at my sport of choice, and in general, be an absolute unit. If you want to do this and do it right, you have to put aside everything remotely active in your life and just fucking squat. And you know, not break your kneecap. That's why I'm going to dub the latter half of this program Smolov Senior. It's a 5-week bloodbath that's the equivalent of cramming the night before the MCAT. If you're smart, strong, and hate yourself, you're going to come out on top of the squat world. If not, well... which finally brings this journey to a close. Not the result we wanted, but probably the one I deserved. If there's a message I'll pass along from this, it's that if you're a dude that's looking to put some serious poundage on your squat and don't mind getting beat down, then by all means, the Smolov program is for you. Asterisk Junior, that is. If you have a suicide pact and want to squat a house within a year, then by all means, stack Smolov Senior on top of it. Who knows? Maybe you'll join the 3 other YouTubers that have finished the 13 weeks end to end. And with that, we're done here. Thank you all so much for sticking around. Drop a like if you liked the video, drop a comment if you got something to say, and subscribe and hit the bell if you want to see my next video, which should be out in about a month's time. Until then, have a good one.